Assalamu alaikum, good morning, Khushamdi, Ji Ayanu, Goedemorgen, Ishpata.
Pakhair agale, ni hao, Tudashumme, Washmale, Ohio, Gonzaimes, Guten Morgen, Hola, Bonjour, Privyet, Kaifahal, Hale Shuma Chatore, Ahlan Wasalan, Marhaba, Buna, Mucho, Gracias, Suavia, Malli Karaya. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into PTV World. You watching World this morning, alongside the very amazing, the very superb, the very ecstatic Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Ehsan Khan on a very fine Wednesday morning over here in Islamabad. Hello, Shiza. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. What about you?
Well, I think I'm feeling perfectly fine. I feel great as well. But it's just that half of my family is actually fighting against COVID as well. So, yeah, it does come and, kind of get to you as well. But then...
all our prayers are with you, actually.
Thank you very much for saying that. And I think I'm actually going to request each and every one of you in 46 different countries, please make sure that you pray for my family and for all of those people all over the globe suffering from any illness. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put it this way as well. But other than that, there's one more thing, Shiza, which I wanted to talk about. And I think that I wanted it to be the start of my day as well. And, so I woke up today and I was like, how, we're in a rat race and everybody wants to get the best things for themselves. Everybody wants to dress up eloquently. Everybody wants to drive the best car. And, I think that, in between wanting all of that and then whatever you have, there's this gap, which I would call that, we do not tend to kind of enjoy whatever we possess already, alhamdulillah. And this is my belief that, that for all of those things you've been bestowed upon by Allah Almighty, if, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be thankful and grateful for all of those things, Allah will give you better things to be grateful about. I think that this is what I wanted to talk about early in the morning. So name 3 things, Shiza, which you would be kind of thankful to Allah Almighty.
Shahzad, oh my God, this is such a jinx moment. Can I say something?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So I think yesterday I came across a post on Instagram and maybe I needed it. It just appeared in front of me and it said it's sort of a 21-day challenge. I'm not sure. I think it was in Summer Story or somewhere I saw it, which said that you have to, before going to sleep for 21 days straight, recall 3 things you're grateful about.
Right.
It will rewire your mind, and of course, positivity will set in. And me being a person, and I always wonder that, well, some people are just born with negative wiring, and it's only natural. It's all right. Okay. So maybe it's even harder for them to adapt positivity into their lifestyle.
Really?
So I started doing this since last night, and maybe I'll just say the things that I did last
go
night
ahead.
as well. Well, at the risk of sounding cheesy, I'm thankful for my husband being patient with me.
Or for having a husband.
Yeah, okay. I'm thankful for having my good health, alhamdulillah. And then I'm thankful for having my job even during the pandemic.
Wow, that's wonderful. Yeah,
what about you?
And yes, I guess I think it's pretty much the same as well. Coming down to 3 things will be very difficult because I think that, for every finger I have, I'll be thankful. For every thought which comes across my mind, I'll be thankful as well. For every word I write, I'll be thankful to Allah Almighty as well. Because other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think that, anybody would have been able to do anything in their life as well. And at times we do belittle a few things as well. I think that, for all of those people, once you fill yourself up with gratitude, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be happy with your life and there will be contentment in your life.
Absolutely. And Shahzad, what's really interesting is
Yeah.
that, well, unfortunately, there are some people who might spend a lot of their lives confused in terms of their career path probably and wanting to do something else but having to do something else and stuff like that. And I feel like that is where gratitude comes in as well. And it's going to be really interesting. Again, I'm saying this because today we are going to be in conversation with some amazing women who, well, they studied to be something and then they probably even had a career there, but their passion lied somewhere else and they followed their dream. And now they're running together their work, I want to say, or their passion. And, well, they are grateful for what they have. And I think this is this sort of spirit or the energy that today we need to spread. And also, I think with that panel of guests, I really want to discuss how they're prepared to move into Ramadan, our favorite month of the year, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly, that's wonderful as well because we did an entire show on Monday, ladies and gentlemen, where we actually spoke about the night of 15 Shaban as well and that how Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right after Shab-e Barat, used to actually fast as well. And that is the day when all of your deeds are actually raised in front of Allah Almighty. So now that we're only like 13 days down, ladies and gentlemen, and it will be Ramadan as well. So everybody wants to kind of get acclimated with that as well. But not just that. I think that every business, during a pandemic would require a lot of things to do within Ramadan as well, because people are prepping for Eid. You have to do a lot of stuff. There's a lot of shopping. And yeah, I think I'm just going to do this and make a pledge to everybody who's out there. Please make sure that you do online shopping this time around, because God forbid you go out in Ramadan shopping and unfortunately you do not even get to wear your dress on Eid day. I don't think that will be a nice thing as well. You really need to stay alive to do that. So please make sure that you do not put your life in danger as well. So ladies and gentlemen, 3 ladies today are joining us, from different walks of life. They've done some tremendous job with the kind of work they do as well, and they've had an impact on society and people around them. So we want to share their success stories with you guys. So without any further ado, first up, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by a writer, an editor, and somebody who happens to be the CEO of Dergi magazine. She is the one and only Ms. Zainab Hashmi. Hello, assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's an utter delight to be over here among other fellow women and among you guys. Like, I've been following you guys for a long while now, so.
Oh, so sweet.
Thank you very much. I think that was the sweetest compliment that we've actually got, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody in 9 long years actually said that it is an utter delight. They might have said that, it's delightful to be on your show, but utter delight is something which was very new for us as well. Alongside Ms. Zainab, ladies and gentlemen, do you want to do this introduction?
Okay.
All right, please go ahead, yeah.
All right, so I think Shahzad is asking me to do it because, well, I came across her page. She's been on the show before. And, well, this is something that you and I spoke about, that, to have a holistic approach towards developing or improving your life. People talk about getting a better physical health. People talk about getting a better mental health. But to have everything in sync, mental, spiritual, and the physical health is something which is really, well, challenging to achieve. I don't want to say hard, but there are professionals who are going to help you with that. She happens to be one of them, ladies and gentlemen, a holistic coach, none other than Samar Akhtar. Hello, welcome back, Samar.
Thank you so much for having me. It was amazing the way you guys opened up the show with gratitude and all. I absolutely love
Thank
that.
you very much for saying that. Thank you very much for sharing these kind words, and thank you very much for sharing your time with us and our audiences in 46 different countries. Don't forget that. All right, but last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, so everybody knows that I go to the gym. So I go to the gym every single day, make sure that I work out. And then there I came across this lady who was like, hey, you know what, it's Valentine's Day, and, I would want to send you a package, for you and for your family.
A PR package.
Yeah, and I was like, what kind of a package do you want to send me? And she was like that, there's going to be a lot of flowers in it, and, a lot of bakery items. And I was like, so what is it that you really do? So she was like that, I have a page with the name of the Container Gardenista, and that she's a florist. And ladies and gentlemen, she's over here in the studios. We want to promote such women. She is the one and only Miss Dania. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Walaikum assalam. Good morning to everybody, and thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you, and the pleasure is all ours. So let's get the conversation started. Everybody heard what we want to get out of you guys as well. You guys are over here as inspiration for other women who are out there who wanted to do something of their own, but unfortunately they never got a chance. So first things first, how did you know that, okay, that this is something I wanted to do, I wanted to run my own magazine, or were there different ideas you had in your head that, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this? For example, when we were kids, one day somebody will ask me, beta, bade hoke kya banoga? I'll be like doctor. One day somebody will ask me, I'll be like an engineer. The third time when everybody asked me, I was like, I want to be a father. So it's always different. How was it with you? How was it with you?
Well, it was actually similar with me. I had a very mixed and match, like just to get a funny thing out there. I have done my pre-medical because my parents wanted and my family wanted me to be a doctor, but I never wanted to be a doctor.
Same here, don't
so
worry.
I got into gymnastics and athletics in my college in FSC. So I was just padhai ke alawa I would have doing everything else.
That's nice.
But in my heart, I had always known. Well, like I was 4 years old, my mother tells me that I always used to tell it to my dad that I want to do something of my own.
Yeah.
So there was this independent spirit about me. And I think the credit goes to my mother because the individualistic characteristics in my, like you see, personality and everything. If after Allah I'm successful, it's just because of my mother.
That's
she
so
has
sweet.
been fighting against all the odds. She has been allowing me to be, you see, going to the late night events and doing all sorts of stuff and traveling and everything. So I'm pretty lucky for that. But I always knew in my mind that I wanted to do something different. I'm a marketer by profession and a telemarketer as well. So I started working when I was 17. So it's been like 13 long years now.
Mashallah.
Thank you. But 4 years ago, I actually launched this magazine, and 2 years prior to that, my mother actually selected the name Dergi.
What does it mean?
It is a Turkish name. It means that it means magazine basically. So I wanted to make a legacy. So my mother asked me, what do you want to make? I wanted to make a legacy and an empire, not because that I was into materialism or anything, but I wanted to leave something for all the women and all the youth behind.
And it's a lifestyle magazine, right?
It's a lifestyle magazine, but this is the parent company. Like we have 2 other daughter companies. One is a productions company and one is a PR company.
Wow.
So we work with events and everything. And this was something that I wanted to do because I'm a poetess and a writer myself.
Wonderful.
I'm a journalist as well.
And you write for your own magazine?
I
too?
write for my own magazine.
Do you have a niche?
Yes, we do actually. We actually target all the social issues as well. Like for example, when we launched the magazine, there was this campaign going on for child sex abuse. So I took against all the odds and I tried to challenge all the authorities, and we tried to spread our word so that something can be done about all of these things. So
Exactly.
it's just, you won't find this as a very typical magazine basically.
Got it.
We monetize it obviously because obviously we have to earn,
Why not?
but I actually try to support small businesses as well. Like I have a lot of people who are interested in PR. We give them facilitation. No other magazine is giving them facilitation. We try to maximize their sales. We try to give them customers because like I have a lot of network. Like my PR network is huge since last 10 years
That's
now.
nice, and you built it, mashallah.
Yeah, I built it actually. So alhamdulillah, gratitude is something that I learned from the past 1 year a lot, because if I have my family with me, if I'm here having this chance to actually say whatever I have to. So I think this is all a human needs. So
Yes.
yeah.
Wow, it's wonderful, and आंसू ही नहीं आए बस मुझे, but I think that the success story is
It's really
immense.
inspirational,
Yeah, and
mashallah.
I believe that it's going to have an impact on people out there as well. And since you said that you were a telemarketer, so this thought came up to my mind as well. In fact, not a thought, an experience which I've been through myself. So I once was a telemarketer as well, because
What is
when I
that?
was
When you-
probably 16 or 17 years old, somebody told me that you know what, you can probably go to these different firms, and what they do
call
is that
center?
a call
Okay.
center, and go work over there. So my name was Paul Cooper, and my speaking English skills were really very bad as well. So I would call people somewhere in Canada, and the other person would be like, "Hey sir, assalamu alaikum, this is Paul Cooper." And he's like, "How can Paul Cooper say
Say
assalamu alaikum?" So I think it was very wonderful. I just came across
But
that,
experience
and I never
built
got
you.
paid for it as well. So I worked 16 days. Half of the days I was bunking. I was out with my friends as well. I was like, I don't think I should be doing that. But now coming towards this holistic approach, mind, body, soul, and the well-being of our own selves and the people who are out there. So Samar, you are an expert on that. You came up with that book. That book really helped me do a lot of things as well. There were notepads I could write, and it was beautiful stuff. But you're doing something about Ramadan as well. And for all of those people who might have tuned in for the very first time, let them know, what do you do and what are you planning to do in Ramadan?
All right, so basically holistic living talks about viewing life as a whole.
Yeah.
So you're not just focusing on one area of your life, but rather you're looking at your life from a mind, body, soul perspective.
Yeah.
So whatever you think, whatever you're eating, whatever you're, gratitude is a huge part within the holistic lifestyle as well. And so the Ramadan program is something that will be my 4th time this year. I've been doing it for 4 years consecutively. And I felt that, like Ramadan, we have a very, very vague concept of it. So we know that we're not supposed to eat, but for most people, that's about it. Like we think that's all there is to Ramadan. Like, we don't have to eat. And another thing is, and I usually explain this with an example, is that let's say tomorrow is Eid. And if you plan to get the cloth, ignoring COVID, but if you plan to go out and get the cloth and get to the tailor and and do everything on the last night, people can imagine how overwhelming it will be to get the right kind of dress and fit and everything on Eid. So I wonder why when it comes to Ramadan, we think that up until the last day we don't need to prepare for it. We're eating throughout the day. We're not, controlling our, let's say, emotions and stuff, and then the next day there is a 180-degree shift in our routine, and then that tends to affect our productivity, our moods, and all of that. So my idea with this was, just opening up this course where people can really transition into Ramadan smoothly, and then while they're in Ramadan as well, they get to view of, the month as a very holistic experience. So they go through the nutrition module, and then they also go through mindfulness in Islam, and then also productivity, like how can they maintain or manage their productivity while fasting, and then obviously the spirituality aspect of it.
And that's really interesting. I really want to get to the products that you're launching. We'll get to that in just a while. Now, moving on to our beautiful florist over here, Dania. This is some of the arrangements that Dania did bring. First of all, how did you come around becoming a florist? Did you always wanted to be one? Because this is not something that someone might think of, कि मैं बड़ी होके florist बनना
Imagine
चाहती हूँ,
she
right?
studied to be a lawyer, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes,
corporate lawyer.
mashallah.
I'm actually a practicing lawyer still.
You're a practicing lawyer?
Yes.
Oh, we never
So this
knew
is
that.
your
So
side
imagine.
hobby.
Yes, this is my side business. Actually, I was introduced to gardening at a very young age because my father, he was very interested in gardening, and we were among the 90s generation that actually went out into parks and everything. So we were exposed to, nature at a very young age.
Got it.
My mother always wanted me to become a lawyer, so she just sent me to England. She's like, get a law degree. And I went and I started my first job at 24, I guess. And I worked for a couple of years. I reached a career progression and abo steady ho gaya tha, but then I was like, this isn't it. I was like, what should I do? So then I was like, oh, I've always had an interest in gardening. So I started growing these flowers on my own.
Growing?
First. Yes.
Oh, wow.
These are from my garden, by the way.
Oh, lovely.
So I was like, why can't I grow flowers that I saw in England? So I ordered so many seeds, and the first time it was absolutely horrible. I'm not going to lie, because it was a trial and error thing.
Right.
So eventually I got the hang of it, and I was able to grow tulips, irises and whatnot in Islamabad.
Wow.
I was like, Islamabad, the weather is
How is
very...
it possible?
Yeah, I was like, okay, is this a fluke or what? But then I was like, no, Islamabad, the weather is really nice. So people started asking me for my flowers, and they asked if I would be willing to sell them, because they were very different from what you were getting in the markets of Islamabad. I was like, why not? And then I went into that entire discussion with myself that I'm a corporate lawyer. Will I ever get time to do this on a professional level? And I was like, my father owned a logistic business. If he can do it, why not
Why
me?
not? Right.
So I was approached by a few event management companies, and they wanted me to do flowers for them, like centerpieces and everything. And I got a very good response.
Wow.
So I started my own company by the name of Blom. It's basically Icelandic for blooms.
For a flower, yes.
Yes, and that's basically how I started. And
That's
mashallah, it's been a year, and
Oh,
the
that's
business is
wonderful.
really
And
nice.
now I know, ladies and gentlemen, that half of the events I've been to, probably not even half of it, or 25% of the events I've been to, while I would look at the, flower decoration, I'd be like to the vendor, or probably the person who's behind the entire event, where did you get these flowers from? Yaar, bro, import karaye hain, bro. So now I know where the flowers are coming from, probably, and I think it's a brilliant idea, yaar, to come across, such a business idea, ladies and gentlemen, where it's doable, and then there's margin of error as well, and then, there are people who actually want it as well. So there's a huge market out there, and people want it in huge numbers as well.
That's
Am I right?
Yes, absolutely.
So then are you able to grow them in huge numbers?
Not currently.
Do you want to expand?
Yes, I do, and mashallah, I am expanding as time is passing by, because literally I started as a container gardener.
Yeah.
I did have a space of my own, but then I was like, Mom, can I have your lawn?
Oh.
Wow, that's wonderful.
And was she open to it?
Yes, she was.
That's
She
nice.
completely supports me with everything.
That's nice, mashallah. But now, ladies, maybe it's the right term to use right here. Maybe all of you are entrepreneurs, right?
Obviously.
So here's the thing. When you talk about a business cannot be flat. For the consumer, me being the consumer right now, I'm going to say, I need to, if I'm looking at your businesses individually, every now and then I want it to have something spicy. Even if you're not changing anything about the business, that's what ad is, right? At least you make me believe that there is something different that you're doing. So now there are two situations that you have to sort of revamp your business according to. That's the pandemic and then Ramadan. Let's talk about the pandemic first. Did your magazine alter in any way? Did you change anything about your business because of the pandemic?
Yes, we had to actually, because we have suffered huge loss over the past 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah, media has been just crashed into the ground because,
no.
okay, so how do we monetize our magazine? Like most of the people, like except for I won't tell the details on everything.
I mean, if it's your trade secret, you're not
Yeah,
really
don't ever
supposed to,
reveal
but
that.
yeah, it's your choice.
those are some tricks of my trade. But
I mean, this is real inspiration, ladies and gentlemen, real business models given out on this platform. Well, please go ahead, shoot.
So but basically how we thrive is basically based on the events. So when this pandemic hit the world last year, our events, there was no events. We couldn't, like you see, charge anybody.
We know
so,
that.
Yeah, exactly. You guys would
You
know
know,
more
right?
than anything. Yeah. So that was actually a very, very bad time for all of us. So what we had to do was we had to revamp a lot of things.
Yes.
So now coming to your point that we make people believe, now that is where marketing comes in, you
Right.
see. Yeah, marketing comes in and then sales comes in, you know. Like we marketers, we make you believe into something. We don't sell lies, but we
Yes.
make you believe into something
In a
that we
different
think that we
direction.
can do it. Yeah. So what we did was, like, particularly if you want an example, a precise example, just
Yes,
to keep it
please.
short, since we couldn't do any kind of events, so we started doing getting clients who are online businesses. Like, for example, there are some like she's a florist, but
Yeah.
I have some people, some students who wanted to do something based out of home, like homemade bakery stuff, homemade food, homemade decorative items. You see, because obviously Valentine's Day is happening, New Year is happening, people have to send care packages to COVID patients especially.
Even
So
Badi Eid, Choti Eid, you know.
Exactly, Badi Choti Eid and
Let's not
everything.
focus on
Exactly.
Valentine's and Happy New
I was
Year.
coming to that, by the way. I was coming to that.
Yeah.
But you see, we have to send so many things here and there. So online businesses were a boom
Yeah.
when pandemic hit. So when they revamped, that was a plus for us because we started getting them on board. So we started getting all those clients on board, and what we started doing was that we introduced something that I wanted to do in Dergi for a long time, because no other magazine or PR company is doing that. We started giving them enablement and facilitation.
Alright.
That including giving them customers. So the vast
Okay,
people
okay,
that
got
we
it.
know and the vast people that we hit, we used to give them the customers, and then their actually businesses boomed as well, and in turn it helped us as well. So all of us were actually getting some benefit out of it. This is how I revamped, because I made Desi to help people out there.
Exactly.
So
It's really interesting because, like we always talk about, none of us anticipated this pandemic. Of course, we never thought it's going to be such a long thing,
Yeah.
but it did happen. So I think you were quite quick to move all of that and probably do that.
Yeah.
Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
What about you, Samar?
So
For the pandemic, because one thing I do understand from your sort of business, there must be some one-on-one classes or something. They were probably on hold for sure, right?
So basically, since it was always online, I wouldn't say that I faced, you know, like, because it wasn't ever in person
Okay.
or any workshops in person, so that wasn't affected. But from the client's perspective, some of them actually preferred, you know, being outside of home so that they can speak their concerns, you know, without any distraction or even any hindrance from home. So when all of them are in one home every day, 24/7, and they're facing each other, so at times it was challenging for the client to show up on call because, you know, there's just so much going on at home, and maybe they're not supportive as well. So from that perspective, that did happen, but then I ended up creating passive programs. So that is something where active coaching wasn't involved, so they didn't necessarily have to hop on a call to take a session, but rather they would get access to a portal where my session would be uploaded, and you know,
Wonderful.
yeah, so they could just do it at their own pace when it's comfortable for them, whatever time suits them, and that's how and then we would check in over WhatsApp or whatever to just keep in track the goals as
And
well.
it just reminded me of me being in university as well, you know, where the assignment would actually be uploaded and, you know, at your convenience you can
And
download
you'd never
it.
open it.
So yeah, I never did. You know, even after the deadline, the teacher would ask, "Did you actually see what the assignment was about?" No, sir. But you know, other than that, ladies and gentlemen over here, I think it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful morning, and you know, when you get to hear such amazing success stories, obviously you get hope. You get that feeling that, hey, you know what? If they can do it, we can do it too. So you know, to come across that feeling in a very better or a good shape, we actually have a small package to share. Please go ahead, take a look, and when you guys will come back, I want to ask the same question from Dania as well. But you know, during this pandemic, you know, courts have been shut down in between. So did she really expand on the business she's doing, or she really did study the law books?
But till then,
figure
let's
that out.
take a look at what, well, holistic approach towards life actually is. Let's do this.
A holistic approach is to provide support that looks at the whole person, not just their mental health needs. The support should also consider their physical, emotional, social, and spiritual well-being. Each person will have a different experience of mental illness and a path to recovery that is influenced by their age, gender, culture, heritage, language, faith, sexual and gender identity, relationship status, life experience, and beliefs. It is important not to assume that how you interpret situations situations will be the same as the person you're supporting. Listening, asking, and checking are key skills to be able to provide a holistic service. A holistic approach focuses on a person's wellness and not just their illness or condition. Research has shown that depending on the level of effort, Ramadan fasting could have diverse effects on physical performance from no effect to marked effect. The present review aims to provide practical recommendations based on an updated, evidence-based synthesis of the existing scholarly literature and experts' opinion on the topic, and subsequently some useful tips for athletes, coaches, medical and scientific support, and sports managers in order to guide them on how to promote appropriate behavioral, social and psychological strategies to cope with the changes and potential constraints induced by the observance of Ramadan fasting. These recommendations should be adjusted and coped with utilizing a holistic approach. A holistic approach is to provide support that looks at the whole person, not just their mental health needs. The support should also consider their physical, emotional, social and spiritual
All
well-being.
right, ladies and gentlemen, yes, we are totally talking about physical, emotional and social requirements as well. But before I move on to Dania, I actually want to stay on to Samar as well. Where Samar, for all of those people who are actually watching us today, if they're going to follow your program or get into that as well. So after that program ends, what's the difference? Do you think that they're going to feel any different?
Or maybe you can share a success story.
Yeah.
I think I have plenty of success stories, and I was going to say that what happens after the program is that their life is made. But like, no, honestly, I just, I just received an audio note yesterday from a client, and so a month ago she shared how. So she reached out to me, and she's like, I have been going to certain professionals before, and not saying that they weren't like effective or anything, but it's different for everyone. The kind of interaction that you have with people that determines your quality of the therapy that you go for as well. So a month ago she shared how the changes that she's been experiencing within herself, within her peace of mind, within her within her relationship to herself, with people around, not just on a very personal level, but she's like, because of that confidence within me, I have landed my dream job. So that was like 1 month ago. And then yesterday she sent me another voice note. She's like, I got here because I introduced a crystal healing line as well. So she got that, and then she's like, I've been wearing that, and generally because I feel very good after the program, energy-wise and stuff. So I got, I'm engaged now, and I'm happily engaged, and I was engaging with a guy, and he's out of the blue, he said that, I wear the same crystal as well. So it's like, the connect that was there because of, the vibration that you're putting out, and how things start working in your favor once you put that faith within yourself. That is like beyond anything that you can experience.
Wow, it's wonderful. And while you were actually telling all of this as well, so I was in my wildest of imagination, I was like, hey, you know what, you feel like a peasant of peace as well, and tranquility for that reason. I believe that, this is something which is going to bring about a change. But only if your program had, mental, social, physical,
spiritual,
emotional, spiritual and financial. I think I would be a part of that program. But I think you're doing a wonderful job as well. Moving on to Dania very quickly.
It does include all of that.
It will lead us to that. Wow, that's wonderful as well. But yeah, obviously, so then after the program, ladies and gentlemen, the life's being made. I think it's wonderful. You don't go to school, you don't go to university, just attend the program. That's wonderful. But moving on to Dania now. So Dania, during this pandemic, I happen to actually have a lot of friends who are lawyers as well. So, there was in between a shutdown where nobody was going to the courts as well. So what did you do with that time? Did you focus more on your business, your family, or gym?
I'm going to say something, people are not going to like it, but the pandemic was actually a blessing in disguise for me and my business, because
we have said it a lot of times.
But since I'm a corporate lawyer and I'm currently heading a team with like contracts and everything for telecommunication companies, so we got work from home, and I was like, yes.
That's a blessing.
There's more time for me to garden and focus on my business. So I was able to delve in deeper into more business ventures, and I've recently come up with this idea. I think this is going to be the first time in Pakistan. I'm going to be introducing what we term as forever roses. So they go through this chemical procedure. It takes time, but then when you buy a rose, it lasts for a year or more than that.
Wow.
So you don't need to buy your wife roses all over again.
I am a forever rose for her, probably. I mean,
we'll ask
if anybody wants to consider me forever rose, I can be Rose ever rose, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's how I'm going to
But
put it.
Dania, can I tell you something? I think during this pandemic, this was the time when I ordered or bought the most flowers in my entire life. For some reason, I don't know. I think flowers do make you happy. You like looking at them. And because this was it was a confusing time. Why are you laughing?
I mean, just look at me for a second. Yeah, you feel like looking at me, right? I might not be your flower, but I'm a flower to my parents. Come on, let's put it that way.
Definitely.
Not embarrass me on television. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually going to head out towards a short break. You know, it was on a very lighter note. Please don't take it otherwise as well. And once, you know, everybody's going to come back, we actually want to ask them that, you know, who's supported throughout their journey. Because Zainab initially said that it was her mother. She never pointed out towards her father. Why? I would love to ask that as well.
But you know, Shahzad, yes, of course, we need to talk about the support system, but we also need to talk about how important it is to have the right kind of energies in the people around you.
Yes.
Because trust me, you guys, there are going to be hundreds of people who want to, well, bring you down with them. They just like to see you
let's
fail.
not even think about them. You know why?
That's what I'm
why
saying.
do
We
they
need to
even-
celebrate the
Yeah.
ones that bring you positivity. We're heading out to a very small break, ladies and gentlemen, because we are super excited. We need to control that. Good morning.
Flowers jumping. Welcome back for everybody who just got tuned into PTV World. You watching World this morning alongside the very amazing Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by three ladies, wonderful ladies from different walks of life who are doing something of their own, and you know, whatever they dreamt about, they're making sure that it's going to be a reality, and it is a reality, which is why we're sharing them as source of inspiration, and they actually happen to be role models for for a lot of people out there.
Absolutely, but Shahzad, you know, it's really easy for us to say that, well, they've turned it into a reality, but it was a journey. And there are some people who support you throughout your journey, who built your journey, actually. So I think it's time to celebrate them. I want to ask you all, who were the people behind your, I don't want to say success, but who were the people supporting you, because of course that does matter. Beginning with you, Miss Writer.
Thank you. Okay, so well, I have been really lucky, as I mentioned earlier, that my family has been very supportive. My father is in the USA, so he used to send support from there. It was just like, I support you. He's a businessman himself. And then my mother, specifically why I mentioned my mother is that because she lives here with me and I live with her. I haven't moved out or anything because I don't believe in that. I think our parents need us.
Of course.
And then my sister, she is the co-owner. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here right now.
Oh,
but she is with me in every decision.
You can give a shout out to her.
Yeah, I actually do want to give a shout out to her because she has been doing everything back end. She doesn't like to be on the camera most of the time. And then she is actually at a very good post in a UK based company, so she was busy today.
Okay.
So, mashallah, alhamdulillah, I have my family, and then I have my younger brother. Even he says nothing because he's not expressive, but he still is supporting me in everything.
That's
so
nice.
Thank God I have a lot of good people like that.
But ladies, here's the thing, quickly adding one thing to this question, and don't take me wrong, but because I've been through it, I'm pretty sure being a Pakistani girl, you've been through it, कि एक दफा शादी कर लो फिर जो करना है कर लेना. Did you have to beat that? Was it ever a part of your struggle?
Yeah, exactly, because my mother, she wanted to get me married, and obviously like every mother and like every father, they wanted to, and I'm the eldest from my father's side, so
pressure.
Yeah, all of my younger cousins are married and expecting and everything, so I have a lot of pressure. But yes, I had to beat that. I was just like, I want to be somebody, I have to be. And my mom, she has this faith in Allah, and she's just like, when it is written, it will happen.
Yes.
And
Alhamdulillah, that's wonderful.
And that's the right approach.
So, Samar, what about you?
So I'd say definitely my parents, because I'm trying to find the right words here, but I remember when because I've been a person who finds something new interesting every 2 months. Okay. So to convince them that, you know, what I'm thinking about isn't something that's short term. But what the good thing was that the certification I chose was one where they had money back guarantee. So there wasn't any risk involved.
Got it.
So I was like, if things don't work out, I'll let them know timely and we'll get all the money back. So my father, for one, has been someone who doesn't think that, you know, when there's a financial investment in education of any kind, he doesn't stop us. He's like, go for it. You know, the more you want to study, the more, you know, better. And then my mother as well. So even because I've been on show here before, she told me, you move your hands too much. Don't move your hands too much. So she's there guiding me, and she's like, you know, do your hair like this time, and you speak very nicely, but don't use your hands.
Okay.
I think it's a part of our job, you know, that's how we express.
naturally
Come on,
comes
you gotta
out.
understand that.
So yeah, definitely blessed there. But yeah, then there are people that, you know, you have to really set boundaries with when you feel that they might unintentionally be an obstacle in your journey. But really understanding that, I think the last time that we did the term toxic, instead of that, we just go for they have their own journey and they're not ready to be on the journey with me at this point. So let's just focus on our growth and see what happens.
We're just on different bandwagons. I think let's put it that way. Wonderfully said, and I think that the message has been put across in a really nice manner as well. So thank you, Uncle Auntie, once again for supporting your own daughter. But yes, moving on to Dania.
For me, my entire family has been with me, and they still support me with everything, especially my mother. I remember my first order, and because it was just me and my mom, and my brothers did not have any idea how flowers are to be cut, because they have to be cut diagonally for them to last longer. So I remember my mother helping me out with that, and then my brother, he actually loves to make wooden things.
Okay.
So he made baskets for me, and everybody helped me. But I would say throughout my journey, whether it's my business or becoming a lawyer or like taking me around, unless I think until 2 years ago I wasn't able to drive. So my sister has been like a second mother to me.
That's so
Yeah,
nice.
and I'm really lucky to have her.
Kind
And
words are for you.
But Dania,
Yes.
I feel like, you know, your parents or family must be happy with you anyway, because you did not leave being a lawyer. You're still practicing, but you added something onto it, so they must be like
That's
double happy.
debatable, and we're short of time. Okay,
yeah,
let's
let's not
go
get
there.
into that.
But congratulations, all of you. You guys made it, and well, thanks to, of course, your support system. Very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, Samar actually came out with a product. She has to launch it yet, right before Ramadan.
Yeah.
What is it called? While you shuffle your cards, speak about it as well.
All right, so basically it's called Holistic Islam, Journey into Spiritual Self-Love.
Beautiful.
So I really wanted people to view spirituality in a very broad way. Not just a set of rituals that you've got to do, but really a lifestyle that you can live. In every little act that you do, you can make it very beautifully spiritual, and then you can have, you know, the contentment within yourself that you're onto something bigger in life. And so basically these are like 30 cards. And the back of it is actually, because my brand is called the Holistic Heaven, so it's kind of like it's a gate. And then there are all these moon phases, because Ramadan obviously is based on the moons and all. And then the verses are actually picked from Quran. And then people really actually get to...
Can you show it the other way in the camera as well?
Yes,
Right.
that you can.
So basically, the verses are from Quran, and then it's up to them. They can have one, you know, one card for each day, and then, you know, they can even use it as a family, as a little activity in Ramadan. So they pick out the cards, and then whatever verse is there, they get to talk on that, and the questions that are there, they get to implement in the week forward. So, you know, really utilizing your Ramadan. And then I actually obviously tried it for myself and my sister. I actually made this last year. It was funny because I was going to bed, and I had this idea, and I woke up after, like, we did our sehri, we slept. I woke up, and within 2 hours I had created the entire program.
Wonderful.
30 verses and
You
questions.
shared that last time when you were on the show as well. So very quickly, give everybody one card
I'm gonna
each,
pass
and let's see
anyone
what are we
around.
supposed
You
to
guys
do
just
for the
pick
next
any
week.
card that you want.
Okay, you know, probably. I think, you
I'm
know,
not good
parents
at
can
shuffling,
actually
so I'm
use
just
these
gonna
cards to make sure that their kids do what they want
Yes,
them to do.
this is so much fun for making kids learn, especially toddlers or so.
You can take out any, you know,
Yeah,
because,
that's
you know,
what I
for
do.
the next 30 days, if you're
I
taking
think
out one. Yeah.
Does it say something?
Yeah, it does.
Pick one and give this to Dania.
See, I get what I talk about. I think that's the
see.
best part.
So sweet.
Are you going to take out one for yourself?
Yeah, okay. I'll do
Yeah,
that.
okay, so wonderful.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what I got was, if you're grateful, I will surely give you more. I am grateful, alhamdulillah. And now what I'm actually supposed to do is, do I usually focus on areas that I lack in? I will now. And what are all the things in my life that I'm grateful for instead? So I spoke about 3
Yes, you
today,
already did
and
that.
we're going to do it, inshallah, in coming days as well. So yeah.
Right, mine is actually very beautiful. And to parents, now this is the translation of the Arabic verse itself. And to parents, good treatment. Say not to them, off, and do not repel them, but speak to them a noble word. Like, never disrespect your parents. And I think that's beautiful, the bond that I share
You
with
even
my
said
parents.
that, in the
Yeah, I know, it's beautiful. So my activity is to think about, why do I feel resentment towards my parents at times? I don't. How can I do one little thing for them each day, week? Yes, this is something I need to think about. And I think the smallest and eventually the biggest thing you can do for your parents is prayers. They will go a long way. This is beautiful.
What about you, Zainab? Quickly.
Okay, well, actually, so remember me, I will remember you.
Oh, wow.
Do I remember God only in times of despair? How will I build a connection daily, no matter how small? Because I'm really psyched, because this is exactly what I'm doing these days.
Wow.
I actually used to pray 5 times daily, and I own this, and then because of some things, my faith really went downhill. But then again, I'm trying to establish connection with my God these days, so this is...
But this is your
Wonderful.
calling.
Yeah.
This is my
Wonderful.
calling,
What
yeah.
about you? What did you
So I
get?
got Fayan Tashabun, which is like, and where are you going? So this is such a small sentence, but it
Makes
can
you
make you
think.
question, like, where am I going with what I'm doing? And the questions are, where is my current reality taking me? And does that feel authentic to where I could be going?
It does, it does.
Interesting. What about you, Dania?
So mine says, we will show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves.
Wow.
Am I clear enough to catch God's signs? What signs might exist within myself?
For there are signs for believers,
very
of
deep.
course. And I think this is beautiful, Samar. All the best of luck for
Thank
the
you.
launch of this product. And, well, to discuss the Shahzad, I think when you talk about a business, you always think big. But to launch this when you know you have an international audience, consumer base as well,
2
clientele
billion
as
people
well.
out there, 2
But
billion
this is
Muslims.
just, yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is, as compared to her last product, this is only towards, directed towards Muslims, of course, when we talk about observing Ramadan. It's absolutely beautiful. We are not endorsing anything. We are just putting forward some of the options that you want to discover, maybe, if you want to be on this journey as well.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're really, really short on time, and I can already feel my MCR about to scream in my ear to wrap the show up as well. But ladies, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
Best
you.
of luck for your
Thank
future
you.
endeavors, and well, keep letting us know wherever you go with your businesses, of course. Shahzad,
Yeah,
you
so
wanna say
ladies and
something?
gentlemen, I think at this point of time, it will be amazing that if you all can actually share your Instagram pages or talk about your businesses very quickly, you know, you will get 15 seconds each.
Yeah, just say at.
Just say
What's
at
that?
Insta. How can people look for
Okay,
you?
it's at Dergi Magazine.
Dergi Magazine.
Dergimagazine.
That's
Wonderful.
Instagram. Perfect.
So it's at the Holistic Heaven.
At the Holistic Heaven. Perfect. Dania?
Yes, and mine is at the Container Gardenista.
Wow, that's wonderful. So we wish you best of luck, and we wish everybody out there best of luck as well. Please make sure that everybody out there is going to look after each and every one of your family members. That's very important. Remember our parents, everybody else's parents, parents,
In your
and
prayers.
siblings and kids and everybody in your prayers as well, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we need the most at this point of time. If you've taken something away from us, please make sure to tell us or inform us at, well, this morning on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube,
Yes.
every social media platform. And yeah, just remember us in your prayers, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3.
Good morning.
morning.
Take care.
Take care. Allah Hafiz.